Brother Usman with another segment of my Temple Tonic Breakdown series. Now, I'm giving a concise outline of my Temple Tonic and Cosmic Moss products. And just to answer a reoccurring question about Cosmic Moss, yes, the main constituent in it is Irish moss, or sea moss, as some people know it. The raspberry and cayenne act as accelerators because they increase the absorption of the sea moss, okay? But we'll get into our next series, and I'll also show you in this particular video where it shows you that piperine, which is similar to it slips my mind right now, the constituent in cayenne, they're similar. They raise the body temperature, okay? Capsaicin. Piperine and capsaicin are very similar in their action on the body, okay? But again, let me get into the turmeric, an ingredient in our Temple Tonic formula, and how it is a continuation of the antiviral co-action of the other herbs in the product, okay? Now, understand the burdock, or rather the echinacea and the oregano, have properties that inhibit viral replication, okay? So when I talk about the turmeric, I'm going to show you how it prevents binding to the cell. It doesn't stop the replication of the virus, but the other herbs do. But the similar activity that turmeric has is it stops the binding of viruses onto your cells so that the viruses don't get inside your cells and affect them, duplicating through RNA and taking over the nucleus of your cell and programming it to replicate the virus, okay? I put in turmeric because we all know turmeric for the anti-inflammatory and antimicrobial and antioxidant properties, okay? But we don't hear much about the antiviral power of this herb. This antiviral action continues the synergy with the other constituents in Temple Tonic, like the echinacea and the oregano, as I explained in videos weeks prior. Now I'm showing you the proof behind why I'm using the herbs I'm using, so it doesn't look like I'm just throwing a whole bunch of herbs together and claiming that all of it is antiviral. Now, even though there's nothing in the medical catalog that really comments on turmeric being antiviral, I know that if a herb cleanses the skin and it's studied for its anti-cancer properties, that means it gets involved in cellular activity when it's inside the body. Viruses are almost exclusively involved in cellular activity since they can't live anywhere else inside the body, okay? Or they can't replicate anywhere else inside the body. Any plant molecule that affects that same cellular activity, it will interact with viruses to some degree or another. So, if I figure this out, of course the medical establishment at large will know this. And from there, it's just a matter of time, or just a matter of connecting what chemicals have the most effect on abnormal cellular activity and what herbs have these chemicals in them, okay? So let's go through this quick study that's published by the National Library of Medicine, okay? Okay, the antiviral activity of curcumin and its derivatives was evaluated using hepatitis C virus pseudoparticles and cell culture-derived HCV in hepatoma cell lines and primary human hepatocytes. The mechanism of action was dissected using R18 labeled virions and a membrane fluid assay. All right, a membrane fluid assay is just a measurement of how thick or thin or the structure of the cell membrane, which is made of fat. We all know that our cell membranes are made of layers of fat. So the fluid assay is what measures the viscosity or thickness of that particular layer of fat, or that membrane. When they say that they use hepatitis C virus pseudoparticles in hepatoma cells, they're talking about viruses that are custom made to be used alongside other molecules to facilitate a particular action that they want that cell or that virus to accomplish. Okay, in this case, what they're talking about are lab-created hepatitis viruses that are manipulated so that they can be infused or co-incubated with the molecules of curcumin so that they can travel in the plasma, and to see how these particular virus, this combination of this virus and the curcumin molecule, how they affect once they encounter a host cell. Okay. So again, when they talk about hepatoma cell lines from these pseudoparticles, that is the custom-made virus, and primary human hepatocytes, that is the liver cells of a human being. Results: curcumin treatment had no effect on the hepatitis C virus RNA replication. In other words, when they placed the virus and the curcumin inside of plasma, it did not stop the virus from replicating or from being released into the plasma. Okay. However, co-incubation of the virus with curcumin potently inhibited entry of all major hepatitis C virus genotypes. Similar antiviral activities were also exerted by other curcumin derivatives, but not by tetrahydrocurcumin, suggesting the importance of a B-saturated ketone groups for the antiviral activity. Okay, so curcumin did not stop the viral activity. Basically, what it did was it stopped the virus from binding to the whole cell. It potently inhibited the entry of all HCV genotypes. Similar antiviral activities were also exerted by other curcumin derivatives. Okay, and here it is in the conclusion. Turmeric curcumin inhibited HCV, that is the hepatitis C viral entry, independently of the genotype and in primary human hepatocytes by affecting membrane fluidity, thereby impairing virus binding and fusion. Okay, so basically the turmeric stopped, and it's regardless, right, independently of the genotype. So it's regardless of the hepatitis C virus type. In human hepatocytes, that is human liver cells, so it stopped them from binding to human liver cells, okay, and impaired this binding by affecting the membrane fluidity. So it changed the cell membrane so that the structure of it would not allow the entry of the virus. All right, to make it all simple. Now, so we know there's not a far separation of the method of viral binding of the hepatitis virus from other viruses, since most viruses bind primarily the same way, which is by binding to complementary receptors in the host cell, okay, or the host cell membrane. If the cell membrane is less fluid, meaning thicker, this one attribute alone makes it harder for viruses to bind and penetrate the cells in your body. Just having a thicker membrane, okay? This is one of the reasons why important fats or certain fats are important to the body. Not LDL fats, not fats that solidify, fluid fats, hemp oils, fish oils, etc. Okay, we'll get into that in subsequent videos. Now, the thing with turmeric is that it needs to be standardized to at least 90% to be effective in its antiviral action. Okay, less standardization of the chemical curcumin will have other benefits, but for the antiviral effect, it needs to be standardized to 90% curcuminoids. Okay, and it also needs to be organic, because turmeric is heavily degraded in its effectiveness when pesticides and other chemicals are used in the growth and the root harvesting. Even if it is standardized to 95 or to 90, to 95%. For some reason, um, these pesticides really degrade the action of it. Okay, Temple Tonic is both organic and standardized to contain 95% curcuminoids. Okay, that's the active component that potently inhibits viral action in the above mentioned tests that we covered. Okay, now I also want to share a little kind of an inside secret. Okay, since we as melanated people are made up from the earth, meaning that our bodies are constituted from the same materials that feed plant life universally, these same plant chemical elements operate inside our bodies harmoniously, okay? But they act aggressively towards chemicals and molecules that are not of the earth, okay? This is why herbs and plants are so beneficial to us as people. Now, when you understand that concept, you'll start to look for the relationship, and your third eye will see the relationship in foods and herbs that you study. This is why people who suffer from certain cancers go on all raw vegetable diets or intakes, because cooking vegetables destroys vitamins, and it also, unbeknownst to a lot of people, destroys enzymes. And it's these raw enzymes that feed your cells and puts your cells into a metabolic balance to where they can eat, use, and excrete faster and more efficiently. Okay, many raw vegetable enzymes are like Red Bull to your cells. Okay, they allow the cells, again, to operate more efficiently. They allow entry of beneficial products or beneficial product breakdowns in the body, molecules in the body. The cells to maintain their rigidity against infection, etc. Okay, so again, that is a rundown of the turmeric. Okay, and I hope some of that wasn't too far in outer space, and I hope you learned from this video. Next video we'll get into the lemon verbena, and we'll also get into the cosmic moss. And again, the cosmic moss is sea moss, Irish moss, just with my own particular accelerators in it. Okay, so till next video, 1. If you learned from this video, help support the study and time to bring this knowledge to our community. It does take time and effort to be concise and as accurate as possible so that we can stay abreast of important health information and techniques. Please visit the site and follow these links.